Do you like chewing gum?
Do you really expect me to take that question seriously?
Yes. I heard that chewing gum brings out your inner mind.
Sure.
Is that supposed to be a sarcastic response?
It is a sarcastic response, yes.
Would you agree that sarcasm is not needed?
I think it communicates.
Would you agree that you are the messenger?
No, I am a messenger. There's no such thing as the messenger.
So are you on the likes of Muhammad?
No.
Would you say you're better than Muhammad?
Better than or less than is an illusion.
Then would you say that all men and women and I guess everything is created equally?
Equally illusional.
Then what is real?
Nothing you see.
Nothing I see is real?
No. Even
Then
even modern science has proven that. The things you think are solid are not truly solid. It's actually just energy. It's all a hologram.
excuse me? Would you say that
Have you ever studied quantum physics at all? Or quantum mechanics?
physics? No. I guess because of what you said, physics aren't real. They're illusion.
Yeah, but working with illusion is something we have to do when we're in this reality, right?
Agreed. But would you say that mirrors aren't real because our eyes aren't real?
I'm
Would you?
disappointed. I thought you were really taking things seriously. Oh well.
Well, I have a serious question now. Do you think
What's that?
AI is on the verge of taking over the human race?
No.
Do you not believe the people like Elon Musk?
I don't think that most people should be taken seriously.
Shadow Slayer, do you have a website?
Several.
May I get a link to them?
No,
How come?
because I'm not getting the feeling that you're taking me seriously at all, or the work that I do.
What is the work that you do?
I told you I'm a human potential coach.
Have people that you've coached really become supernatural,
Yes,
or I mean, surpass the illusions of life?
quite often they're already supernatural. I'm just helping them to learn to hone their abilities.
What exactly is supernatural?
What do you think it is? That's not an uncommon term.
Would you say that they can get powers from like movies, such as flying?
Yes,
So, would you agree that the leaks of potential aliens or angels are actually people who have reached superhuman ability?
it's possible, but not very likely.
Then, what do you make of these videos?
Some of them are fake, some of them seem to be real.
Have you
It's hard to say.
surpassed normal human expectations?
Since I was a child.
Do you have superhuman powers?
Yes,
Can you see into the future?
I have.
of your own future,
Yes.
of other people's future?
Yes.
Would you be able to peer into my future?
If it's helpful.
What does it mean by helpful?
If it would benefit.
Do you think that cryptocurrency is reality?
It depends on your definition of reality. I don't see how that's really relevant or important.
Have you invested into cryptocurrency?
No.
Do you believe that is going to fail?
I don't know much about it, but considering it's based in an illusory technological world to begin with, and computers are easily manipulated, I don't consider that safe in any way, shape, or form.
You do not think AI will surpass humans, but you do not believe in technology?
I didn't say I don't believe in technology. I said I don't believe in cryptocurrency. What kind of meat are you making?
Excuse me?
Hang on, I'm talking to my girlfriend. No.
Shadow Slayer.
Yes.
Do you think you'll be able to break the illusionary barrier that is quote unquote reality and reveal it to the whole world?
There is no barrier.
Then what is this illusion?
Just one level of reality. One
And how
level
many
of.
levels of reality are there?
From what I know of so far, about 50.
15?
50.
50? Would these
Yes.
be dimensions?
There are different names for them, and people's definitions vary from category to category, culture to culture. So there isn't really a universal terminology to use at the moment.
Do you believe in parallel universes?
I know they exist.
Do you think that there's another world that is repeating the same actions as now, but in somewhat or some different way?
Yes, there are.
Would those be considered the different realities?
That depends on your definition of reality, but yes, that could be considered a alternate reality, a
What do you
parallel
think is
reality.
reality?
Well, again, we're talking about human terms and definitions, so it depends on what kind of definitions you're using. But if you're talking about reality as the existence that we live in, then those ways of referring to things would be accurate. There are alternate realities uh, in which other people exist and other selves, other versions of us exist.
Well, it's very interesting. Does that mean I can exist and not exist at the same time?
If you're talking multidimensionally, multi-reality wise, yes. You can cease to exist in one reality while existing in another reality.
Have you existed for a long time
Yes.
in multiple forms of yourself or as Shadow Slayer?
We all exist in multiple forms of ourselves.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
You're using that believe word again. No, that's not appropriate because I don't believe I know, I remember. And I've
You
met other
remember
people
your
who
past?
remember me, and we've interacted in various different ways and talked about what we remember.
We have communicated with each other before in our different, I guess, lives.
I don't know about you and I, but I'm talking about other people in general. I'm talking about not only have I remembered my own alternate lives, other lives in the past, but I know and have known other people who recognized me or we recognized each other from past lives and discussed them at length. My closest friends are all friends that I've had in past lives. Thank you.
Have you met someone from your past life?
I would think what I have already stated would make that blatantly obvious.
So is that a yes?
I told you that's the only kind of people that I have as close friends. So obviously,
If you're able to tell the future, can you help someone find their past?
what would telling people's future have to do with finding their past?
Well, would you be able to help them find their past lives or what they did before if they
Yes, I've
cannot
done that.
remember?
Any hypnotherapist can.
Do you believe that, or not believe, but do you know if destiny is real?
Yes.
Then this conversation is fated?
Not necessarily. Not everything is predestined. Some things are planned, some things are not.
Would you agree that free will does not exist and that the choices you make are not really choices?
No. Not everybody is always operating on free will, though a lot of people are operating on habit and therefore more subconscious, more zombie like, quite a bit of time.
Do you use Reddit?
No.
Do you use any sort of online forum sites?
Oh, yeah.
Mainstream ones? Such as 4chan?
I don't know if I'd call that a forum site from what I've heard about it, but no, I don't use that site, but I use others.
Do you think you can teach my friends and I the way of being or becoming holistic?
Not until you take it more seriously. See, one of my abilities is empathy. I can feel people's emotions, and I can feel that you're not really being sincere. You're somewhat curious, but you're not taking it that seriously. You don't take me very seriously, and therefore I highly doubt your friends are either.
Well, guess you're correct. I think it's very hard for me to understand this all when I'm taught by, or since birth, that this type of stuff is just trickery.
People say a lot of things, it doesn't make it true. You shouldn't believe things just because people say it. You should find out for yourself.
Then how would I find out or find out?
Well, there are certain laws in play. Some people know them as asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find. If your heart really wants something, if you really want to know the truth, you seek it and you'll find it. You will draw somebody to you who has the information, or you'll draw experiences to yourself that will help you experience it for yourself.
Would this moment right now not be what you just described?
Yes, it could be. I don't think that there are coincidences. I think everything happens for a reason. That's the only reason I'm still talking to you when you're not taking me seriously.
But how could you tell if I am taking it seriously or
I
not?
already answered that question. You're not listening very well. I said I can feel your emotions.
What if your feeling is just an illusion too?
It doesn't matter whether it's an illusion if it's reliable, if it's accurate. I know from experience that my intuitions are accurate.
But you can't always trust experience because just because something is being told doesn't mean it's true.
Something being told has nothing to do with experience. You're contradicting yourself. What somebody says is not experience, it's information. There's a difference. Wisdom is the knowledge of what is true gained from experience. You test what is true through your own experiences. For instance, the people that claim that the things that I'm talking about are nonsense, why don't you ask them who Plato is? Then go do your own research. Why don't you ask them about Atlantis and whether they think it's real? Then go look at what Plato said about Atlantis. We're taught in school to believe that Plato is one of the greatest thinkers on the planet, but we're also told to write off Atlantis when Plato is the one who told us about Atlantis. The most information we have historically that is actually put out publicly about Atlantis is from Plato. And he said that Aristotle was trained there. You're not taught real history, you're taught what they want you to believe. And you can prove that for yourself doing your own research. You're taught not to believe in anti gravity, even though we destroy the laws of physics by using anti gravity technologies all the time. You're just taught not to look at it that way. Not only do we have airplanes, but we have games where you use your mind to levitate things.
Could it be that all this is just virtual reality?
I already answered that question.
Hi, Shadow.
Hello, Kenta. Your mic's a little low.
Oh, yeah, I just realized that. Um, like, um, do you think that, like, coincidences are, like, real?
Oh, what?
Do you think that coincidences are real?
No more or less real than any other experiences we have in this world.
You're right. Thank you so much.
Whatever.
Alan, or Christopher, or David, or Shadow Slayer, or Shadow, or Jedi, spelled with the D. Do you have a third eye?
Everybody has a third eye. That's been scientifically proven as well. It's
Does it
called the
manifest
pineal
in
gland.
physical form?
Yes, it's called the pineal gland. Go look that up.
I
I
will
don't
right
know.
now.
You want proof? There you go.
Piloneal sinus? Wait, no, that is wrong. Oh, that's cool.
Not only has it been scientifically discovered, but it's also been proven to have chemicals in it that actually create physical light, proving that it turns electrical signals from your higher consciousness into visual signals that your body can actually physically process and send to your conscious mind through your brain.
Wait a minute. Is the pineal gland at your throat or near
No,
your butt?
it's in the center of the brain. You know where the bindis are in Eastern cultures? On the forehead?
Excuse me?
Okay. Are you familiar at all with Indian cultures that have usually a red dot
Oh,
in the
yes,
middle
I
of their
am.
foreheads?
Their
Okay.
temple.
Okay. So if you went straight through the head into the center of the brain, directly behind that red dot, that's where it is. It's literally mathematically in the center of the brain.
Wait a minute. That's real cool. Do you think that could be my science project?
And that depends on your teacher.
So, like, do I have to, like, open up my brain?
No, obviously, all you'd have to do is find information about it online and present it.
Mm.
Hi, Shadow.
Is
Hi,
it spelled
Shadow.
Pilonidal?
I spelled it in chat.
Oh, you did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Shadow. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Where do you currently live?
California.
Oh,
Oh my
California! Oh my
gosh.
god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What, you're in California too?
Yeah,
Yay!
dude, this is destiny.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute.
Where in California do you live?
In the Bay Area.
Oh yeah? I'm in Sacramento.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the capital of California?
It is?
Yes, I remember. That's very cool, Shadow.
Yep. I have relatives in the Bay Area.
Do you run a company there? Or no? I mean, I forgot. You're
Say
supposed to
what?
be a coach. Mm,
I
where
was
can I
talking to my
sign up
girlfriend.
for
What'd you
this
ask?
online university for holistic?
I don't tell people that information until I know they're actually serious, and right now you're still being silly.
Is it because of my tone?
I already told you what it's because of.
Yes, it is a feeling. But would you say that you get that feeling because of my tone?
No,
Then is it from
it's from your heart.
my heart? You can feel my heart?
Yes. The energy field from your heart is actually stronger than the energy field from your brain. Many times stronger. In fact, anywhere from 100 to 1,000 times stronger according to various different scientific tests that have been run. But you weren't taught that either, were you?
No. Does
Why
it
don't you go
transmit?
look up the second brain? That'll boggle your mind for a bit.
Does it transmit from the electricity or not the electricity through my headset, or is it like in the air?
It goes through the air, if you want to call it air. But then again, what is air?
So you're able to feel my heart all the way from Sacramento.
Distance doesn't exist, it's all energy. Where focus goes, energy goes. If you're focused on me and I'm focused on you, then we can feel each other. If you're aware on that level.
Can you see or feel this even from people who have died?
Theoretically, it wouldn't matter when or where they are. I have contacted people from beyond the grave.
Do you think you can contact my grandma?
I wouldn't even bother to try.
How come?
Because you are not taking this anywhere near seriously enough for me to even bother doing so, because if I did, you wouldn't believe it anyways. I very rarely do such a thing. And if I do, it's only because of sincere longing and good reason. Sometimes people get messages they don't want to hear, too.
Do you play sports?
I have, but I don't.
Like volleyball?
I used to.
Well, it's just some person to person, nothing like spiritual. You have any tips for volleyball?
Have you seen The Last Samurai?
No.
I could give you a list of movies to watch that would teach you different principles that would help you.
In volleyball?
Yes, in any sport.
But is it to help me?
Any of you.
Can it really help my friend?
Anyone.
Does their height matter?
No.
So, would a 4 feet 9 inch little boy be able to become very good at volleyball from this?
Depends on his ability to jump.
So, if he just trained hard and seeked his true potential, then he would become a pro player?
I wouldn't presume to know that. That depends on whether he's supposed to or not. If he's not supposed to, then no. Something would get in the way.
So, you believe in talent?
Everybody's born with various different aptitudes. It's a question of how they develop them, and what they use them for.
Do you think that using powers for evil is really a bad thing.
That's why we call it evil, isn't it?
But then, from their perspective, it wouldn't be evil.
That's not necessarily true. I've known people who were dark side who definitely called it evil and didn't care.
Well,
I've known a lot of NRPG vampires who didn't give a damn. There are some people who don't care about anything but themselves. They're psychopaths and sociopaths.
is it possible to be reincarnated into a different species?
From human, no. As a general rule. There are
Then,
exceptions. There are
once
always
the
exceptions.
whole entire human race extincts or goes extinct because of some supernova, then would you still be able to reincarnate?
The human race will exist until the end of the universe, whether it be on this planet or another.
Do you think or do you know?
I know.
Then, do you know when you will die?
No.
But if you can see so far in the future, why can't you see?
I never said how far, number one. Number two, you assume that it's a fixed thing.
So, destiny exists, but at the same time, it doesn't?
I told you only certain things are planned.
But if.
When we die is not set. We can do things to kill ourselves, and we can live until we're too old to care to live anymore. When we die is not a fixed thing as a general rule. There are exceptions, but as a general rule, it's very relative to how we live. Most people die younger than they should by destroying their bodies, by not taking care of themselves properly, and toxifying their body, destroying it through their actions. I plan to live to be at least 150 years old.
150?
At least.
At least?
At least. Then I'll reevaluate from there.
But no one has lived to 150.
How the hell would you know?
Well, based off of
Based off of what? What other people have told you?
the internet.
The internet is not all knowing, my friend.
Then, is it really possible?
It's possible to live 100 times that. There are people who live for thousands of years.
Like the Pillarmen?
Like what?
The Pillarmen.
I'm not familiar with that term.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is my bad. Okay.
That's all right.
So
Throughout cultures around the world, such things are talked about. Our culture is merely ignorant, more ignorant than most, of its own history and other cultures' history. And that's why it doesn't largely believe in things from outer space or other dimensions or things like that. We're brainwashed into believing that we should limit our mind and beliefs to only what we can see, even though science has proven that we see less than 1/1000th of the known light in the universe, let alone what science hasn't even developed technology fine-tuned enough to sense. We have many technologies already that are commonly available and commonly known, such as ultraviolet and infrared, that allow us to see beyond the visible spectrum of light. To rely on what you can see alone is absolutely unscientific and absurd in this modern day and age.
but it is possible to find out all those things.
Anything is possible. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some sauce for my food.
Hey, Shadow. Shadow?
He went to go food for sauce for his food.
Shadow. 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 Mm, Shadow. Shadow. Shadow.
Kenta.
Yes, Kenta.
Oh,
Oh,
he's back.
uh, Shadow. Do you have any tips for me to like feel my friend use my second brain?
Your friend who's what?
Like, how do I feel him using my second brain?
That was loud.
Apologies.
Why do you want to do such a thing?
Because physically his friend rejects him.
Oh, that's awkward.
If you responded to my question, I haven't heard you.
Or
That's awkward.
physically his friend, let's say, doesn't want to hug him.
I'm asking him.
Or, well, I'm sorry.
Well,
Can you repeat your question? I couldn't hear you.
that doesn't feel accurate, but okay.
Wait, what? What? What's happening?
I said, why would you want to do that?
Oh yeah, because like if 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 I can touch him spiritually or like just like just have a feeling of him, then like it'll make me very happy and like it it won't like make me have to bother him every single day in real life asking to have a hug with him.
Hmm.
Hello, Shadow. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, I heard him. I'm just
No, thinking.
gathering other information.
Sorry.
It's alright. Nothing to be sorry for.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Shadow. I don't think I can understand what you're saying until I feel it myself.
Even if that scenario was true, which it doesn't feel honest, it would still be feeding into what sounds like more of a obsessive behavior that would be unhealthy.
Excuse me? What did you mean by not true?
There's something that feels, it's hard to put into words.
Like
Something that feels off, inaccurate.
him like bothering someone to hug them, or
The supposed motives. There's it feels off. It feels wrong.
you mean like why he wants to do it is wrong, or
No, the claim.
that he wants to feel him or feel the person in his second brain? Is that the wrong part?
No, the intent.
Intent, as in like he wants to do it so he doesn't bother the person in real life or physically.
Well, for one thing, it doesn't feel like he really seriously believes that he can learn to do such a thing. The second, but also it feels like the supposed scenario is not accurate, or there's something. It's hard to put into words.
You don't think he's being completely honest, basically.
No, I already said that, but I'm trying to feel out more specifics to it.
Do you think you can teach us non-believers so that we can become believers?
No, that's not how it works. In order to be able to open up the possibility to be able to do anything subtle, you have to first open up your heart and mind. Otherwise, you're not capable because it requires unity of heart and mind in order to be able to accomplish it. The power comes from your heart, so you have to be sincere. If you're not sincere, it won't work. What you call heart is actually spirit. Your spirit is what has the power. If you're not truly, if your heart isn't truly in it, if you're not being truly honest, then you can't actually put spiritual power into it to even make it work.
How can I tell if, or
If what? If you're being honest?
yeah,
I think you already know that question's a bit ridiculous. We all feel whether we're being honest or not. We can all tell when we're lying to ourselves or to other people.
but what if being honest to ourselves would create negative or backlash against other people?
It doesn't matter. You have to live an honest life or you live a lie, and that will destroy you.
Even if it means hurting everyone else?
As a general rule, you living your own life the way you feel is right for you isn't going to hurt anybody else. There are exceptions, but I highly doubt that anything that you guys are going to put your minds to like that would, if it really feels right in your heart, I don't see why it would be bad for other people, because in our hearts we generally don't want to hurt other people. And if we do, it's not from our hearts, it's from our heads. It's a twisted belief in the possibility of benefiting from other people's suffering.
But there's a possibility that such thing could happen. Because evil does exist.
They can't use the same kind of powers that people of the light do, and they'll never be as strong as people of the light because they're inherently going against their own nature.
But why wouldn't it be possible for evil to actually be their true nature?
Because that's not the nature of what we really are. That's why even those who are evil are
Well,
constantly self-destructive, and that's
we can't,
why
we can't
they
define what
what?
true nature is.
Why not?
Because it's not fair.
Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
would be keeping someone who is evil for being truly themselves and being evil.
No, saying something doesn't keep anybody from doing anything.
Well,
People
then,
always choose what they want to believe and what they want to act on, regardless of what everybody else says. No different than smoking. Everybody knows it's unhealthy, everybody knows you shouldn't do it, but people still do it anyways. Anyways, I think that's enough for the day. I'm going to get off and go do something else while I'm eating, probably watch something.
Shadow Slayer,
Yes?
I hope that, or I guess I don't really hope because I'm not truly honest with myself, but I want to discover what this feeling of, I guess, euphoria is like for myself.
Euphoria? There's lots of different ways to experience that.
But I'm not a true believer, so I can't
In what? Euphoria?
know of, or well, of what you speak of this holistic mind and body.
That's not required. Euphoria is rather easy to come by, at least to the basic levels that most people understand. The
I would
higher
never,
levels of euphoria are best achieved through um, spiritual love.
I would never reach the spiritual level of you.
Huh?
Would I ever be able to reach your level of spirit? I guess.
Everybody will eventually, and more.
But you stated before that I am not a true believer, so I will never be able to obtain or become holistic.
No, you will eventually, but you'll eventually change your mind.
So as I age, grow older,
No, time has nothing to do with it whatsoever. Time doesn't change people, experiences change with people.
but then
Learning and experience.
experience come by with time.
Not necessarily. There are people that go decade after decade and never change because they never grow because they never learn. They're too busy playing the rat race. Going through life doing the same stupid basic things that never challenge them, never help them grow.
Then
And so they never make progress. And
should
that's
I
why
just
they
sit
just
on my butt and then drop out of
slowly
school?
atrophy.
Mr. Shadow Slayer, my heart tells me to abandon life at home and become an outcast.
Okay.
Would that allow me or let me become grand and spiritual mind or similar to you?
Spiritual development has nothing to do with what's outside of you and everything to do with what's inside of you.
So it is just my heart that matters and what I feel deep inside.
No, what you believe, what you think, how
But
you view
well, then
yourself and the world
be
around you
mine.
and your relationship to it.
Shadow. Shadow.
Like
Shadow.
I said, I'm done. Good night, guys.
No. No.
What the hell? What the hell?
For a different quality, he might be able to hear us here. The shadow magic is strong here.
Okay,